Yeah, hi. Now, I didn't knew before yesterday I would be interested into figure out a little bit more things about peat, but obviously it is necessary. Peat, sometimes known as turf, is an accumulation of partially decayed vegetation or organic matter. I don't know what's the difference, but anyway. It is unique to natural areas called peatlands, bogs, mires, moors, and muskox. The peatland ecosystem covers 3.7 million square kilometers, and it is the most efficient carbon sink on the planet because peatland plants capture carbon dioxide naturally released from the peat, maintaining an equilibrium. In natural peatlands, the annual rate of biomass production is greater than the rate of decomposition. But it takes thousands of years for peatlands to develop the deposits of 1.5 to 2.3 meters. Uh, we are here. Across the world, peat covers just 3% of the land surface, but stores one third of the Earth's soil carbon. So 3% of land surface is not that much. I guess there's much more forest than peat areas. Uh, Peat is not a renewable source of energy due its extraction rate in industrialized countries far exceeding its slow regrowth rate of 1 millimeter per year, and also, and as it is also reported, the peat regrowth takes place only in 30 to 40% of peatlands. Centuries of burning and draining of peat by humans has released a significant amount of CO2 into the atmosphere, and much peatland restoration is needed to help limit climate change. Okay. Won't help, I guess. Peat forms when plant material does not fully decay in acidic and anaerobic conditions. It is composed mainly of wetland vegetation, principally bog plants including mosses, sedges, and shrubs. As it accumulates, the peat holds water. This slowly creates wetter conditions that allow the area of wetland to expand. Peatland features can include ponds, ridges, and raised bogs. The characteristics of some bog plants actively promote bog formation. For example, sphagnum mosses actively secrete tannins, which preserve organic material. Sphagnum also have special water-retaining cells, known as hyaline cells, which can release water, ensuring the bogland remains constantly wet, which helps promote peat production. Most modern peat bogs formed 12,000 years ago in high latitudes after the glaciers retreated at the end of the last ice age. Peat usually accumulates slowly at a rate of about a millimeter per year. So, uh, obviously, this accumulates on special places. And there is no water needed from beneath, only rain. So there's no water change happening beneath that. Which means, like, if you put water into a bucket and leave it there for 3 weeks, if it doesn't evaporate, it will sting like hell, you know? Like, it's full of stuff, which smells. So if you have this kind of swamp or peat area, there's probably no fish because there's nothing to breathe and nothing to eat. So, the reason why I was reading about peat is follow. Is the follow. Following the follow. the following stuff. Yeah, that's a rock. Uh, it has this kind of. I couldn't find a better picture. That's why we have to deal with this one. Anyway, here are those quartz embedments, or how you ever call them. You know, I have shown you. You can check out those. But we have also these kind of things. Holes in the ground. Yeah, we don't do anything with this one. But anyway. Let's just imagine this would be a really good quality picture. Probably I take one of those here. Okay, let's imagine this would be filled with water. And just like if we would imagine this would be a lake and this would be a river and it would flow there. It comes from here, goes into the lake, swirls around, and then it continues its journey to wherever it goes into the sea, and you know. So we have now this special lake. There is no water coming from anywhere, it's just there. The only water which comes is from on top, it's rain. And we have this moss on top, peat, flowing around there, like, and everything is decaying, everything is dead, but it's growing, it's alive because it's dead. Anyway, do we have brown? No, we don't. So imagine yellow is brown. This is how it basically looks from on top, this peat area. There's water, and there is stuff growing and stuff dead. And the only source of water is from on top, rain. Because from underneath, there is no stream coming in, no stream going out. There's also no dwell from below or whatever, this kind of stuff. So, no, no, no. Only rain. Basically, like you can see here. That's not connected to this one, not to this one, because that's much more deep than this one. So it won't flow, it will never be empty, like if it would be bigger, because everything has to be scalable in order that to have the chance to be correct. If it's not scalable, you have to figure out something else. Okay, that's our lake, not connected to any other lake, river system, whatever you have. No dwell from below, just rain from top. So we are in Finland. Google Earth. This is somehow maybe how to call it a crate or something, or we just have a really big sea pinch here which goes up there, and we are seeing the edge of the sea pinch. Those, like I showed on the stone. So we are now on the edge of the crater or whatever it is, and you can see those red. What are they in English? Sorry for changing languages. Areas, let's call them areas. Brown areas. They are mining peat. Yeah, I know it's not mining, I guess, but anyway. So 3% of the whole landscape of the world is peat, which is quite a small amount. But if you fly around in Finland, you will find them everywhere. There are smaller and bigger areas. Peat. And it's every now and then in the news here because people think they're like those are destroying the landscape and drying it out to get in order to get some stuff and then get they fire it up and we get energy and all this kind of thing. What sophisticated humans do in the year 2021. Unstoppable developing forward to a greater future. So, I noticed that there's this kind of peat ring. They are somehow aligned. I would say there are much more areas that are just untouched, so they are invisible. Yet. So, I just trying to say that yeah, I'm not surprised that we have quite much of the peat, of this peat stuff here. Because many of those lakes, what we have here, most of them, 99% probably, they are made by an electric discharge event. You could call it lightning too. It doesn't have to be lightning. Static electricity doesn't produce lightning. But you shouldn't underestimate this either, because for example, this sandstone I just showed you before about the holes and stuff, this was static electricity. But these are probably, it depends probably on what kind of stone, if it's granite or sandstone or whatever you get, or what the weather event was. You will get a different kind of stone as more energy you put into it. Like you take a stone, you induce energy into it, and it will transform into something else. And you do it again, and it will transform again to something else. But if you in the first time put much more energy into it, that some of it evaporizes and some of it transforms into something really else, and then you do it again and again and again, and then you take some other stuff, mix it in, and make it again and again and again. It will transform every time. That's how things somehow do react to electrical inducement or heat. Like they are explaining about the meteorite impact craters. This is the biggest one in Finland officially. Lappajärvi. Meteorite impact crater. I bet it isn't. Just for the one reason why I think it's not. If that's the crater, made by a meteorite, and then all dinosaurs die. What are these? Are those smaller meteorites? What? And another thing is too the alignment. There's this kind of, how to call it, great alignment visible really easily. And we have repetitive patterns. We have, now there's a little sea pinch. Haha. I found a sea pinch. It might be one, it might not. Too much stuff here written. Map style. Clean. Oh, why no one told me to make this in the beginning already? Repetitive pattern. Yeah, there are just two, but it's repetitive. And I just remembered what I was talking about in the first place. PEAT. You can see it. There's like PEAT production, mining, or however you call it, on many places. Even though we have just 3% of the whole landmass is like covered with peat, but we seem to have it a lot. I guess we are already in Russia. There's also peat. Yeah, I leave it here. This is probably one of those growing. Let's put a mark on that. I can't use this Google Earth. Forget it. But anyway, let's talk about this one next time. Maybe somebody remembers where it is. But it's really interesting. Yeah, thanks. Bye.